Today we are talking about teams you should use in FC25 career mode. This is going to be a mix of big teams, little teams, teams from different leagues, and also these are going to be mostly my suggestions. If you have suggestions on which teams to use in career mode, feel free to leave a comment and we'll probably do another episode covering more teams that you guys have suggested in the comments. Make sure you give a bit of reasoning as well. As always, if you do enjoy the video, please leave a like for me and make sure you subscribe for more FC25 career mode tips and tricks. A team that's on my list this year is Inter Miami. David Beckham's MLS club has gone to new levels thanks to 4 players: Messi, Busquets, Jordi Alba and also Suarez. A full season with these players in career mode could be a lot of fun. You could do a one-shot season trying to take Inter Miami to championship glory. I don't think you'd get more than 1 or 2 seasons out of this save because maybe Messi, Suarez and other players would start retiring. And even though there's the big 4 players like Messi, Suarez, Busquets and Jordi Alba, there's still some decent support acts as well. Robert Taylor's there. You've got Campana, Kramaski, and then you've also got Redondo in the midfield with a 74 overall. You might want to bring in a couple more signings to help strengthen up the team, but we are playing in the MLS with this team, so I think this team would do some damage the way it is at the moment as well. Could be a lot of fun, especially if you're fans of Messi, Suarez, Busquets and Jordi Alba. Next up is Al Nassr from Saudi Arabia. The Saudi league is growing year by year and there's a lot of talent that has moved over there to play in that league now. Al Nassr is my pick because of Ronaldo up front, but they've also got Sadio Mane. There's also Talisca on the right as well, and Otavio, Brozovic, Laporte at the back. It looks like a very decent squad. It's not just Al Nassr that has a decent team. Another Saudi League recommendation would be Al Ittihad. This team has Benzema up front, 86 overall. There's also Bergwijn. There's also Fabinho and Kante as the CDMs. Kante still with the 85 overall. Diaby on the right. This is another club I recommend in the Saudi League, Al Hilal. This team has Mitrovic up front, Neves in the midfield with Milinkovic-Savic, Cancelo on the right as a right back, 86 overall, and then you've got Koulibaly as a centre back, 84 overall, a goalkeeper with 84 overall as well, and then you've also got Neymar as well that you can throw in, and this looks like a very solid team as well. Another club I have on my list is Manchester United, of course. This is the team I support, but they've fallen from grace since Sir Alex Ferguson left, and now it could be your turn to turn them around and start picking up trophies again, like the Premier League, for example, the Champions League. It's not going to be an easy task, and I've learned that as well while I play my Manchester United career mode. You're going to come up against Liverpool, Manchester City, and other clubs as well that are going to be a class above, so it's not going to be that easy to win games in the Premier League and other European competitions. But you do have a solid foundation, players like De Ligt, Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Xerxes, Højlund, Ugarte, Lenny Yoro. There's a few other players here. There's obviously a bit of dead weight as well. You might want to get rid of a few guys and bring in some fresh new signings. But basically the goal with this team is to try and win the Premier League again, try and win the Champions League, just take United back to the glory days. My next suggestion is in the Premier League again. It's Ipswich Town. Ipswich is back in the Premier League for the first time in over 2 decades after back-to-back promotions over the past 2 seasons. Kieran McKenna has built this squad up, but now it's time for you to take them to the next level. Making sure you're not relegated is the first priority with this team because Ipswich still finds themselves with one of the weaker squads in the Premier League. You could start by solidifying them as a Premier League club before moving your way up and trying to challenge for a top 4 or even a Premier League title in future seasons. You might want to see what you can do in the transfer market to bring in some solid signings. You'll have to also grow your existing talent and also work with the youth academy to bring in some new players. It's not going to be an easy task. It might take a couple of seasons if you really want to get Ipswich up there. Next up we have Bromley FC. This team is in EFL League 2. Last season was a historic season for the club. They secured promotion to the EFL for the first time in their history after winning the National League playoff final. This team is going to be a longer term road to glory where you start in EFL League 2 and work your way all the way up to the Premier League. In terms of overalls, we're working with players in the 60s and 50s, so there's a lot of progress that still needs to be made here. You're going to have to utilize the youth academy, optimize your transfer budget and wage budget, try and secure some talent on the free transfer list or the loan list, grow existing players as well. There's a lot of work here, but like I said, it is a longer term save where you can do multiple seasons and progress through the ranks. Next up on the list is Wrexham AFC. This team is in EFL League 1. This is a club growing in popularity in recent years due to Hollywood actors Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney taking over the club. Wrexham are working their way up the EFL ranks. They got promoted to EFL League 1 and that's where they sit so far. This is another good road to glory save where you can go from the 3rd division all the way up to the Premier League. You can take over and work on boosting up the players, bringing in new talent and just strengthening the team to one day make it to the Premier League. Currently, you'll be working with players in the 60 overalls, but obviously there's still a lot of work to do here if you want to go higher. Next up on my list is Leicester City. Ever since winning the Premier League back in 2016, Leicester has dropped off. They're now back in the Premier League after getting promoted last season, and now is the perfect time to take over and make them Premier League champions once again. You have Jamie Vardy leading the way, a 37-year-old Jamie Vardy. I don't know if he's the last player to still be there from the 2016 campaign, but obviously with this team you might need to bring in a couple more signings, work with the youth academy, sell some players as well. It's not going to be an easy task here, but imagine making Leicester Premier League champions once again. Next up on my list is Real Madrid. This is for those people that just want to play with the best team and don't care about anything else. Real Madrid is stacked. You know, they've got the best players in the world. They're the current Champions League winners. It doesn't get much better than this. There'll be no more work to do. You don't need to bring transfers in. This is just a start and win sort of save here. You've got players like Mbappe up front, Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, Valverde, Jude Bellingham there as well. The backline is solid. Courtois is solid. Endrick is an up-and-comer, young talent. You've got Camavinga, another youngster. But then you've got Modric, who's 39. He's probably going to go soon. So yeah, this team is a mix of younger talent and older talent. Not much work you need to do here. You just play on the field, enjoy the best players, and win matches. That's all. I consider Man City on the same level as Real Madrid. You know, this is another one of those clubs where you can just play and win matches. There's minimal maintenance required, minimal work for you to do here. If you want to play with the best players in the world, you can pick Man City as well. You've got Haaland with a 91 overall leading the way. Savinho on the right, Doku, Gundogan, Silva, Kovacic, De Bruyne, Stones, Phil Foden as well, Rodri. So yeah, this team is pretty stacked as well, and you would have a lot of fun playing with these players as well. This year, women's teams are now in career mode, which means we have to suggest some women's teams to use in this episode. The first one is Arsenal. I know there's a couple Australian players playing at Arsenal at the moment. Players like Steph Catley, Caitlin Ford, Cooney Cross. There's also players like McCabe and also Russo. I did watch the Women's World Cup. I know a little bit about the players. Another team that I know that's pretty good is the Chelsea women's team. Sam Kerr is the striker there, 90 overall. From what I understand, the best women's team is FC Barcelona. It looks like there's a lot of high overall players in this team. I'm just suggesting a couple clubs because some of you guys might want to try out the women's side of career mode this year. Obviously, there's so many different teams you can pick. I just went with the teams that I'm familiar with the most. A lot of people know about Borussia Dortmund. This is a fun club to use in career mode as well. But there could be one team that's even more interesting. Borussia Dortmund number 2. This club is located in the 3rd division in Germany. And basically with this one, you want to try and get Dortmund 2 better than Dortmund 1. So this is like a road to glory in Germany. In terms of the team, obviously, you're not working with the same players as Dortmund 1. So you're going to have to utilize the youth academy, sign some new players, grow the players. Hopefully, one day, you'll be able to beat Dortmund 1, win the Champions League, win the Bundesliga, and what a story that would be. Thank you to the Vapex FC members for your support. If you want your name featured here, just sign up using the link in the description. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like for me, make sure you subscribe for more episodes, and hit the thumbnail in the middle to watch another FC25 video.